Guys, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., our nation's HHS secretary, just went stupid nuclear viral. I cannot believe my eyes, but this is so good. I first saw this from End Tribalism in Politics. So they wrote, RFK Jr. just left a Fox News host speechless after explaining why we don't need fluoride in our water anymore. This is so good. I'm excited to show this. Another conversation we're going to have as well later is RFK Jr. explaining the science of how food impacts behavior and more. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Also, guys, if you like having conversations like this, if you think they matter, please consider liking and subscribing. It really does make a huge difference. All right, check this out.
Issue is parents need to decide, because the science is very clear on fluoride. The National Toxicity Program issued a report, a meta review of all the science on it in August that said there's a direct inverse correlation between the amount of fluoride in your water and your loss of IQ. So even small increments of fluoride cause loss of IQ, and particularly in babies, in neonates, and in pre-birth, if the mother's exposed. And those children are getting no benefit because they don't have teeth. So, and it really should be up to the parents. We have fluoride available. Fluoride made a lot of sense in the 1940s, but today we have fluoride in our toothpaste. We have it available in mouthwash. You can get it. The benefit is topical. There's no systemic benefits. So when you drink it, it's not giving you an additional benefit. So it makes sense, and it ought to be up to the parents. The government shouldn't be saying you should take a neurotoxin. And there's all other kinds of other bad impacts from fluoride. It reduces bone density, and it calcifies your thyroid. 1 out of every 8 women in this country have thyroid problems now. Oh, the balance, when on balance, it's probably something that we want to leave to the individual rather than have the state mandated.
That is the most complete and usable answer, and I'm a little bit, maybe leaning into what you're saying because I'm a mom.
That was good.
But that was amazing, and it answered a whole lot. And when you get to that thyroid issue, especially among some women of color, it's a big deal because we tend to have that quite often. I want to get to this.
So good. Are you kidding me? Jeez, she was literally stunned. She said that is the most complete and usable answer. That was amazing. Did you see this? I love whenever you hear something that is truly almost paralyzing, that you just have to just sit with the words. You just have to sit with the impact. I love that so much. That is huge. And if I could just be a little clear here, like the reason this matters, because so many people are like, oh, why are we still talking about fluoride? It's been months. Just do what you want to do. Guys, the reason this matters is because what we give to the children is simply a declaration of the future that we believe that they deserve. So let me be clear. Like, we're not just feeding our bodies. We're not just making these little decisions that are going to go ahead and impact children. We're making the decisions that are literally forming the future. And that matters. So I'm never going to think that this is just a small thing. Like, we're just talking about fluoride. It's in toothpaste. It's in this. No, this is a big deal. And this is a huge win. So I love that. I also saw this from MAHA Pack. They wrote, RFK Jr. broke down shocking science showing how food directly impacts behavior. Guys, I'm telling you, I was really shocked on this. This is a minute clip, but it is so good. Telling you.
Yesterday in Washington, D.C., I talked to the corrections officials, including some from Oklahoma, from all over the country. And before I went in there to give that talk, I looked at some of the data, some of the studies, and there were over a dozen studies that I found very quickly on Google that showed what happens when you change prison food. And there are studies that show that violence goes down by 38%, that assaults go down by 85%, that suicides in one juvenile facility went down 100%, the use of restraints goes down 75%. So when we start feeding, this food is poisoning not only our health, but our mental health as well. And, we need to start giving better food to our children in our schools and give them a chance.
Come on. Are you kidding me? I love this so much because I don't know if there's anyone else who could essentially zero in on a problem and then zoom out far enough to show us how this actually impacts everyone's day-to-day life. Because this is a clear example. Like, this is what happens in prison whenever you start delivering this type of food. And these are the results that happen afterwards, right? This is once again proof that what we feed ourselves not only just nourishes our body, it actually changes our behavior. So, no, we shouldn't be surprised when Kennedy says that this food is poisoning not only our health, but our mental health as well. But we should take this and just, I think we should implement this in our own real life, right? Because we simply can't just change our behavior if we're not willing to change our environment, if we're not willing to change the food that we consume, if we're not willing to change the drinks that we pour into ourselves. Like, we can't expect to give someone poison and then expect peace afterwards. That's not how it works. But when we do the work of actually giving people the food that they deserve with quality, with nutrition, and not garbage, I actually think we're making incredible steps in the right direction. So this is amazing. Also, I saw Secretary Kennedy on his set count. He wrote that the MAHA movement is growing across the country. And I thought this was a really interesting clip and I really wanted to share it. So check this out. This was earlier today.
We're getting this extraordinary outpouring of cooperation, and it's, without regulation, without having to do that. These companies are standing up. We had Nestle's this week. We had ConAgra. I'm getting rid of food dyes. We've had Kraft, the biggest food company, that has also pledged to do that. Tyson's Food has already gotten rid of all of its dyes. And then, we've got little companies like Steak and Shake and many of the fast food companies that have now pledged to get seed oils out and go back to beef tallow fat. So, and then the insurance companies have now come to the table and agreed to get rid of most of their prior authorizations, which is going to change the lives of hundreds of millions of Americans. And the great thing about it is that, we have not had to regulate. We have not had to drop that hammer. We're getting this extraordinary outpouring of enthusiasm and cooperation. And Governor Kevin Stitt is a template for what's happening at the state level. We've had I think we've had 20 states now that are moving towards SNAP waivers and are getting rid of fluoride or are banning bell-to-bell cell phones in schools, and it's very, very gratifying.
Holy smokes. The MAHA movement is growing so fast and it's going so wide and it's going so far. And I just can't help but smile just because I feel like we've been here since the beginning. And all of these things, they used to look like dreams, but now we're seeing how reality is finally catching up to where our vision has been for the past few months. And I think this is just worth celebrating so hard. I'm telling you, everywhere I look, I feel like we're seeing countless MAHA wins. Where I saw this from Benny Johnson literally just hours ago, and he wrote, "Breaking food giant Nestle to remove all artificial dyes from their products by the end of the year." RFK Jr. also just mentioned this right now in the clip, but it was great. He says, "MAHA in full effect." Are you kidding me? Telling you, this is such a big deal. And in this moment, when MAHA has some serious wins, what we're seeing? We're seeing people like Gavin Newsom, governor of California, say this. He said, "MAHA, make America hungry again." I'm telling you. And this is a screenshot from the Texas Tribune. And, Gavin Newsom is making fun of MAHA, but you know what? What these policies are doing is that we're actually revealing just how starved we've become. Just as Secretary Kennedy has literally just said, what we're eating right now, for the most part, isn't the most nutritious food. And real food is the goal. Garbage isn't the goal. And right now, you have so many Democratic governors or Democratic lawmakers out here saying, "Oh my gosh, they're doing so many bad things." Like, no, we're trying to clean up our supply. We're trying to make the food better. We're trying to literally make America healthy again. And the people who are opposing it, I'd definitely look up their sleeve because I don't know if they have the best motivations. Anyways, that's the video. I know we had some pretty sexy conversations today. We talked about fluoride and we talked about the science of how food impacts behavior. And I thought it was all really, really good. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Tell me what you agree with. Tell me what you disagree with. And I will see you all next time. Please consider liking and subscribing, especially if you made it this far. If you made it this far, if you're watching this video right now, come on, you already watched like what, 10 minutes? You might as well like it. You might as well subscribe. If you made it this far, of course you like this video. All right. So why not like it? Why not subscribe to it? Why not watch on the video while you're at it? Hit the notification bell. I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth. All right. But I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy you're here. And I'll see you guys next time. Episode's over already. Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.